Okay, cool. Okay, welcome back to the Female Main Character podcast. I'm Maria.
I'm Charlotte.
And this is where girls chat meets the book chat. So this week's really exciting because we're starting our reread of Twilight. So I think it's probably worthwhile just going into this with some notes, which I have wrote so many notes in this book. But I think the first thing to call out is probably why we would do this. So why would we reread Twilight? So we're both very aware of the problems with Stephanie Meyer. Let's just put it out there. Yeah. So these books are, I mean, she's accused of being, and rightly so given the source material, fairly problematic for being racist. A lot of people, so I was just doing some quick research online to see like what people say about her, and they were saying that she's a Mormon, which I did not know. And a lot of this is Mormon allegory, which makes sense. So there's loads of it that links to the Mormon beliefs and how apparently, I didn't know it was quite a racist religion.
Oh, I didn't know.
So there you go. What else? She was horrible about the diverse casting. Also didn't know that, but apparently was horrible about diverse casting for the movies. She enforces stereotypes, really negative stereotypes about Native Americans. Yeah. So why would we read this book? I think we're going to be calling out a load of that shit. But I think it's worthwhile saying that when we first engaged with Twilight, I mean, I've never read the book. Charlotte has. I think I've skimmed through it. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember any of that whenever I was a kid when I went to see this.
I think for me, I just don't think I was educated on
that
kind of thing when I was young. Like I was like in high school. And I remember I saw the first film. I remember my brother had it like illegally downloaded, and he like.
I watched it illegally as well.
Yeah, this film came out like, you know.
It was definitely a cam copy too of like a cinema recording.
And I remember watching it, and like, I've got an addictive personality anyway, but I was just like, I'm about to make this my whole life. Like, this is the best thing I've ever watched. And I remember going to the shopping centre with my mum, getting all the books, and I was like, yeah, obsessed. But yeah, obviously it's lack of education, isn't it? Like,
I think even if I would have read this when I was like 13 or 14 when this came out, when the films came out and books got really popular, I don't know if I would have known that any of that was problematic at the time either. And I think that's definitely a lack of education around how we portray certain people in media.
Definitely, yeah. I think
so. We're definitely going to be calling it out as and when we read it. I think we're reading this for like nostalgic purposes.
Yeah, and I think like to say now, if you are a massive fan of Twilight and you can't take like criticism of it, don't like you're not
engage with this.
Yeah, like you're not going to enjoy it, because I would say like I love Twilight. I love watching the films. Like I think the soundtrack.
It's a comfort, like nostalgia movie to us, isn't it? Yeah. Like we will just put that on. Yeah. Probably know it word for word.
Yeah, and I think we've said this already, but like we when we first met at uni, like there was a lot of things that we like bonded over, and I think this film was like one of them, the film series. So it does have that like nostalgia, and like we're attached to it, but also not to the point where I'm going to be like, this is the best thing I've ever read. Like the best thing I've ever.
I don't even know if I knew it was a problem at uni. That's how undereducated I think I was about like. Yeah. About how people portray people in media and racism, to be quite honest. Like growing up in Ireland, I was really, really sheltered. The biggest problem there is sectarianism in the north of Ireland. So I was really sheltered into thinking that was like the biggest problem out there in the world.
Yeah, of course.
And until I came to like uni in Yorkshire, I never really knew or had experienced racism, I don't think. That's not to say racism doesn't exist in Ireland. Oh my God, it's a wildly racist country now, especially with the more immigration that's gone into it. And probably especially in the north.
Yeah. And I think there are issues with Native Americans in America that we like. Even now
I don't know anything about that culture. I feel
yeah,
like it is so stamped out in all the Western media that I have ever consumed in my life. It's a gimmick. Like it never feels like anything more than like used for superstition or like magical elements or for werewolves. Like I genuinely know nothing about it. Nothing. So yeah, so we'll be definitely educating ourselves as we go throughout this for sure, pulling stuff out.
yeah,
Um and I think what kicked this off is if you've listened to some of our previous episodes, we've been talking about how you kind of fall into literature and what makes people pick up books. And every like 10 years, there seems to be this series that people just absolutely die hard for. So obviously it's been A Court of Thorn and Roses.
yeah. But
Before
you
that,
said
it
Twilight.
was it was Twilight, like
Yeah.
it really was, and it was Harry Potter. So yeah, we just thought it would be so interesting. We went to see Nosferatu, which is genuinely our whole personalities now. Like I have no other personality outside Nosferatu.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a little in the last, was it the last one or maybe the one before? I can't remember. But yeah, I'm still obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely Twilight is making a comeback right now too. Maybe it's just because I engage with that kind of content.
I don't know. Its collection being in Primark does feel
Yeah,
quite It's mainstream, isn't it? So
yeah, and I think like the younger generations now are like discovering it, which I'm so jealous of. I would do anything to wipe my memory and like read it again and watch it again. So
yeah, and no matter what Rob Pattinson says, listen, the first two movies are great. Okay. um. So basically, what we're going to do is we've dissected this into 5 episodes. I've literally just wrote this out and I've forgot already. Yeah, 4. So we're going to do 4 episodes, and in each one we're covering 6 chapters of the first book, and then I think we're going to sit down and watch the film for maybe a YouTube episode.
yeah.
And then after that, we'll start on the second book, which is I've definitely read New Moon, so I must have skipped this.
You were just like, no, I'm not having it.
I'm such a New Moon girl. Like, that is my comfort movie. I'll watch New Moon all the time. So
Yeah, I love New Moon the book too. Like, I do think it's. I enjoyed that. Like, like the love triangle. Like, I just think, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we're really
Fab.
excited. Like,
So that's what we're doing today. Is going to go through Twilight. Shall we start with a bit of what we've been up to over the past couple of weeks? What have you been reading outside of this?
yeah. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the book, but I started. Let me just grab it because I'll butcher the. I meant to pick it up and show you. So I started this book. I'm only like a couple of chapters in, but it's called Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Sugimura.
That cover looks cute.
Yeah, it's really, really stunning. Like, it wasn't what I expected at all. But yeah, it's like set in Tokyo, 7 teenagers, and like they wake up and their bedroom mirrors are like shining, and yeah, it's cool. I don't want to like spoil the premise, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's like a nice little escape. I read Wuthering Heights for probably the millionth time.
I love that for you.
It's just the perfect preface to reading Twilight. I'm Bella now. Like I'm in I'm in her headspace. Yeah, I really love Wuthering Heights. Like, will never fail to make me cry. You've never.
Whereas I can't even read it.
Yeah. Well,
genuinely, I need to go to like a class of someone giving me a chapter by chapter breakdown of it because I'm just so confused.
I think you'd really enjoy it. I genuinely think, obviously, the main part that's unreadable is Joseph, I still
dialogue.
Yeah, and there's like a whole website dedicated to his dialogue, and because it's written in sort of like Yorkshire, like.
You would think I would know that by now, though. I have lived here for 11 years.
Right, even I, like, some of it is just like not readable. But yeah, I do feel like this is the perfect thing for me to have read before this, because I just think that level of like yearning is insane. I love it. But yeah, I'll have to give you this, and you can give it a go. It's obviously only a really short book.
I think I've got it.
Oh, do you?
I think it's downstairs. I picked it up once and thought, oh yeah, I'll definitely read this because I love Jane Austen.
I got Pride and Prejudice actually as well in the charity shop recently.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay, what have you?
It's a really easy read as well, to be fair.
Definitely.
Oh, what's going on with this? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine, yeah. Has it been weird?
It's just like really wonky, and the thing is all squashed, but we'll just live with it.
Okay.
Well, I've like not even been reading anything. I've been doing the most boring adulting stuff, getting my house ready to sell, which really just takes over your whole life.
Yeah.
Working a lot, and then literally just rotting on my bed, scrolling through TikToks.
I feel that so much.
It's been such a like short little blip of a February, but so dark and grim.
Yeah, like I'm so ready.
Such weird.
I'm stuck in this phase at the minute where I'm just like, I want it to be over. Like, I want whatever this period of time is to just be over.
Yeah, I need like the sun was out today. There was blue skies. The flowers were starting to come out of the ground in the garden. I was like,
yeah,
is this what life feels like?
This is what it is to be human.
So yeah, I've literally not really been reading anything. I need to pack up my bookshelf really and start to clear that, so that'll be exciting to like see what I keep and what I get rid of, because I was staring at it the other day. I've got all of your Throne of Glass on there, which I need to give you back. I've got loads of people's books actually, because people give me books all the time and tell me to read them, and
I've got some of yours too.
I just need to get my arse in gear. Oh yeah, I think you've got some Emily Henry still, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. I've got one at the side of my bed that I keep meaning to pick up.
Right, should we get into it? I'm excited.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start. We have got to start on this Twilight recap with the dedication and the quote at the start.
Yeah.
It's a Bible quote. Could you actually believe it? Me and Charlotte talk about the Bible and religion so much. We're obsessed with how it just takes over people's lives. With the fact that it's just a book and we've made a whole society of it. Yeah. When I opened this and I seen a Genesis quote, I literally nearly screamed at the book. I was like, there's no way. It was in that moment that I had to look up, was she religious?
Oh, is that when you did? Yeah.
So it starts with, but of the tree, I'm going to sound like Girls Gone Bible here reading this.
I'm going to clip this and post it ever and be like...
But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So ignorance is life, ignorance is bliss. Don't have the knowledge.
So I think it's like the warning that God gave Adam not to consume the fruit.
Don't eat the apples.
Yeah. So what I have noted down is it's kind of like oh God, why can I not think of the word? It's like foretelling, like the ending.
Oh, foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Well, not the end of the book, but like the climax of the book is kind of that, isn't it? And then it leads into this preface, which is just obviously. Isn't it so funny that like when I don't know, when I like studied writing, they were just like never like start with a dream, like never begin like a book with that, like, and it was all a dream. But
This isn't a dream, though, is it?
well, I guess not. Oh no, it's like
It's
sorry.
the
Yeah,
actual scene, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
I'd never given much thought to how I would die, but to die in the place of someone I love seems like a pretty good way to go. I didn't know that it was like that
In the
was going to
book.
be the actual start of the book either. Yeah,
Mm.
it's obviously chopped up a bit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've literally wrote iconic. I can hear the voice in my head as soon as I started reading that.
Yeah. I love
So
that
the
they did start the film with that too, rather than the Genesis quote, I have to say. But
yeah, that was completely left out of it, wasn't it?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the first bit is a sort of flash forward to the where she's being hunted down by, is he called James? I want to say he's called James.
James.
We haven't met him in the first 6 chapters, but it's sort of an insight to that. And to be honest, I think this tells you everything you need to know about Bella.
Yeah, no, it does.
Like where she's like, to die in the place of someone else, someone I loved is noble even. I'm like, oh girl. Oh, Bella.
She's a little bit insufferable, right? And
Oh gosh, really bad.
at the beginning of this, I was just kind of like, was she always this annoying? Like, is she like this throughout the whole, like, does she really have any kind of like character arc where she actually like grows out of this? Or
So in chapter 1 to 6, it covers pretty much her moving away from her mum, moving in with her dad into a town called Forks that she fucking despises. Like
really irritatingly though too. Like,
so annoying. Like
so
that
miserable.
thing where you've got a character in a novel or a film or anything, and the character hates on something that is like the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
does this constantly about everything, and it's so insufferable.
Yeah, yeah.
And pretty much that's the first 6 chapters. She's moved to Forks, and she starts high school, and she meets loads of kids who are all really nice to her. Some of the boys are obviously a bit annoying, but she's fucking just as bad, to be honest.
She's so rude about everything.
She's just so rude and mean. She's really horrible to all the girls. It's really bizarre, and she really likes this really beautiful boy called Edward, who is also really fucking weird.
Oh my god.
And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the first 6 chapters. Let's go through chapter by chapter, shall we?
Let's start from the very beginning. So yeah, one of the first things that I picked out was Bella's mum, like her mother. I'm just like there's a lot of quotes that I picked out here where it's like, I could see the sacrifice in her eyes behind the promise, and that's essentially where like she's driving her to the airport and she's like, oh, like, if you don't want to go, you don't have to, and blah blah blah, and it's just, you've kind of forced her to. You've not really given her a choice.
I also felt like I was really confused as to why she moved. Like, it was really confusing to start with. She doesn't really say why until she speaks to Edward about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
so you're kind of like, well, why are you leaving somewhere you love so much and your mum behind?
Yeah, and I hate that like Bella lies about it and she's like, yeah, I want to go, and it's just like, well, why don't you just tell her how you feel? Like, I can't imagine not telling my own mum how I really truly feel about something.
Yeah, especially because she repeats over and over again that her mum is her best friend.
Yeah, like,
then speak to her.
Tell her. Yeah, so you have that relationship with her mom, and then you're introduced straight away to the relationship with her dad, which is also bizarre because who's calling their parent by their first name and like behind their back, like
Yeah, she makes note of like how she calls him Charlie but doesn't call him Charlie to his face.
Yeah, like, oh, I can't get away with it to his face. And it's just like, well, why have you started doing it inside your own head? Like, what is that
Um,
about?
I felt like it was really weird that she was like, these past 3 summers, Charlie vacationed with me in California for 2 weeks instead.
Yeah.
So she only spent until she was like 12, she spent 1 month with him every year. So 1 month out of 12 months of the year, she's seen this man. And then from that point on, only for 2 weeks so she's seen him for the last 5 years, 2 by 5. She's seen that man 10 weeks in total in 5 years. I just felt like that was such a weird thing to just go and then, I don't know, obviously I'm not from my parents are still together, so maybe this is normal behaviour.
Yeah, it's the lack of explanation for me, though, because it's just like, well, why? Like, I don't know. It's
Because
just...
she doesn't like the cold, Charlotte, duh. That's like the reason you're actually given, because she does not want to spend her time. She just doesn't want to be out of the sun.
Yeah. But yeah, on that relationship too, like there's a point where when they're talking about Billy Black and saying like, oh, we used to spend summers with him, we used to go fishing, and she just like, I do a good job of blocking painful, unnecessary things.
Oh my god, I wrote that. I was like, this music sounds so dodgy. Yeah, like, did you think that?
Yeah, like, what happened on these trips? What do you mean?
No, seriously, I literally wrote, why does this make it sound like her dad was doing something dodgy?
Yeah, what? That's a trauma response, not
it's
like, oh, I didn't like fishing, or
so I've like put loads of question marks because I didn't know if like in the book something did happen on like the reservation or something. I was like, has something different happened, or is this just, does she think like going fishing with her dad is painful? I was so confused. Yeah,
no,
I was so confused about that. I think I've got the exact quote here. Do you remember Billy Black down at La Pouche? La Pouche is the tiny Indian reservation on the coast. No. He used to go fishing with us during the summer, Charlie prompted. That would explain why I didn't remember him. I do a good job of blocking painful, unnecessary things from my memory. And then the next line is, he's in a wheelchair now. I'm like, wait, is this painful for you or painful for Billy Black?
like, what happened? Is that ever explained? Like, why he's in a wheelchair? Right. I'm making a mental note of that. I need to know why.
Yeah, so that was so random. I thought that as well. Yeah. So I was like, are we setting Charlie up to like give her daddy issues here? Like, has Charlie done something dodgy? And in the films, they just didn't do it. So I've made a note of that. I guess you've read it, so
yeah, like not that
you don't think so.
vividly remember. I feel like
yeah, that was
remember
such a weird. So that's like, if nothing comes of that, that is another classic example of Bella just complaining about something that's actually really great. Like, who wouldn't want to go fishing with their dad out on a lake and nice lazy summer days?
Yeah, like we used to go fishing. They're like my best memories. Like,
yeah, that would be most kids.
Eat sweet corn from the can. Like, loved it. I was having the time of my life. But yeah, she's like really feeling sorry for herself in this first chapter. Like, there's a lot of quotes.
She complains about getting a vintage 1964 Chevy, which I'm like, come on. Like, no one would complain about this truck.
No. But yeah, where she's like, no need to add that my being happy in Forks is an impossibility. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, like, have you always been this pessimistic? How old is she? 16? Like,
she's 17, isn't she?
17. Oh yeah. How long have you been 17? Sorry. That's going to be this content. Like, just me spilling out random Twilight quotes. But yeah, and then I've also taken a lot of the quotes where Forks sounds like my actual dream.
Oh my god, me too.
Where she's
too.
Rain, it's green.
Why does she complain about it being green so much? I'm so confused by that. She's like, everything's green. It's so green they even brought green inside the school. I'm like, Girl, are you really complaining about plants in a room now? Like, you're complaining about there being plants in a room.
Sorry, it's like a desert. Like, where do you want to be right now?
On page, so after he gives her the truck, so this is still chapter 1, after he gives her the truck, there's such a weird line where she's like, it's the kind of truck you see at the scene of an accident, paint unscratched, surrounded by pieces of the foreign car it had destroyed. Me and Kurt do this thing all the time where we're like, when we're watching like American films or anything, like if a line's really patriotic, we'll always turn to each other and be like, Texas forever, baby, which is a Friday Night Lights quote. And I read this and I was like, Texas forever, baby, like fly that flag, Americana. Get it? They do, like, so many American writers will do this without even
like realizing.
Yeah, maybe they do realize, but like just being like, yeah, everything American made is so good.
Yeah, completely.
All that foreign muck is shit.
Also, that, but like, why are you even thinking? You've not even gotten the thing, and you're like, I'm gonna have a car accident. And I do just feel like she has this personality that's so insufferable, where she's just like, I should be a tan, sporty blonde. Like, I'm so clumsy. I'm like accident prone. Shut up. Like,
that I should be a tan, sporty blonde comment, but instead I'm ivory skinned without even the excuse of blue eyes or red hair.
But it's also that's what most people like want. Like, she's just baffling.
Not like the other girls. Yeah, so basically in chapter 1 we're really laying in heavy on how insufferable Forks is, apparently, for some reason, how disgusting her old car is, how her dad doesn't even give her own bathroom.
Shared bathroom?
Disgusting.
Couldn't be me. What, Bella?
That must be such a US thing. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I knew anyone that had 2 bathrooms until I was like 16 or 17.
No, like in the UK, it's just like
not a thing.
You have a family bathroom, like
yeah, it is now. Most houses are built with at least 2, aren't they, or at least the downstairs. Yeah,
like yeah, of course.
But yeah, that was just so funny to me because that is just not normal here at all. What a weird thing to complain about. Plus, they have like completely different schedules, don't they? They're like they're in together for like an hour an evening, her and Charlie, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, like.
So is there anything else in chapter 1 that you pulled out? Oh, the shiny Volvo comment killed me. So she pulls into the park in the school's she pulls into park at school and she's like, oh, it feels really good because every car's old except for a nicest car here was a shiny Volvo.
But yeah, I love that. And I think, don't you feel like because you've seen the films, you have that like visual and you're just like...
I can see him like scooting about in that little shit car.
That's so funny.
And there's also a bit under where she sees the shiny Volvo where she says no one was going to bite me. I was like, okay, that's pretty good writing. Like, I like that.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of that. Obviously when she I think it's the next chapter when she first meets Edward, there's like a lot of references to him looking like if looks could kill and stuff, and it's just like
yeah, there was some good stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that was everything for the first chapter for me.
She's pretty much, as soon as she starts to meet people though, she's straight off the bat just really rude.
Yeah, I've got a lot of comments on like some of her interactions because I just think she's a little bit unnecessary. Like, you've gone to a new school, you're feeling a bit down, like you feel like you're not gonna enjoy yourself, and now like you're ruining every possibility that you might make some friends or might enjoy your time. Like,
she's so rude to everyone. Like, she spends the whole first chapter being like, yeah, I couldn't even remember that girl's name. You're like, that is so unnecessarily horrible. You've made a point to say there's 360 people in this school. So you can remember those random figures, but you can't remember the people that took the time out of their day to speak to you. You can't remember their name.
Yeah. So I think
Rude.
the end of this first chapter is where she's met Edward for the first time. Should we talk about that kind of scene?
Yeah, so she's basically like Jessica's like telling her who everyone is
Yeah.
in the lunch cafeteria.
Yeah.
So Jessica's like telling her who everyone is, and she's like obviously. So she's being. I think she describes her like being sour grapes, and Bella surmises it's because that she fancies Edward and Edward has rejected her. Oh, she makes all this up in her own head. Like there's never any. Jessica never actually says any of that. She just decides this. She's really horrible about Jessica the whole time. How she thinks about her is awful. And then then she goes to class and Edward is like really horrible to her. And then she's like, oh, maybe Jessica was not as resentful as I thought. I was like, that's a bit rich, since you resent everyone and everything for the past 10 to 15 pages. Now you're being like, oh, maybe it isn't Jessica. Maybe it was just what I thought. Yeah, I think it might have been you, hun.
Definitely you. And like the whole scene of them being sat side by side and her like peeking through her hair, I'd be like, what's your problem? Like, why are you looking at me like that? You're like, what?
How do you even do that?
And I do kind of laugh at the end, like when she's like, he was so mean, it wasn't fair. And it's just... Okay, new girl, not everyone has to be nice to you, like...
Especially when you've not been nice to anyone.
Yeah. Why didn't you say hello to him when you sat down? Like, surely, like, it's your first day, you'd be like, hey, like, it's nice to meet you,
Yeah.
Bella.
And then she goes to gym, which they make like... She talks about going to gym class a lot. Does she have gym every single day? She talks about gym all the time.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought. I was like, oh my god, they've got like... I'm going to say PE because I refuse to say gym. But yeah, like they've got physical education every single day. I would also be like...
I'd be mad about that.
I'd be like, no, I don't want to do that.
And then after that, she goes to hand in her note that she got signed to say that she went to all her classes that day. And Edward's there trying to swap out of biology. And she says he was arguing with her in a low, attractive voice. I was like, lol, Akatar. Like...
Also, when I read that, I was just like... I was in my head trying to do like a low, attractive voice. Because I was just like...
Arguing.
If someone spoke to me in a weird, like... was like, oh, can you switch to... I'd be like, why are you flirting with me?
Can the this made me think, like, can the vampires in Twilight compel people to do things? Or is that a Vampire Diaries thing?
I don't know if I'm imagining this, but I kind of remember like researching this and wondering, and I think that it's more that they're so attractive that people are like almost like startled by them and kind of like they are kind of more like malleable to your will because they are attractive, which is a really fucked up premise. Like, you're so attractive that you can physically make people do things. Like, Jesus.
Because I was wondering, like, why she doesn't actually switch his class if he can just make her do stuff, but then it makes sense that if he can't make her...
Like, physically, yeah. If it's not possible, then I guess it's not.
Right. Makes sense.
But yeah, this whole thing with him, like, cringing and kind of acting like she fucking stinks or whatever is just...
She says, like, I smelled my hair and it smelled like strawberries.
That would be me.
She was like,
so
I smell beautiful. I'm so lovely and I smell beautiful. Like, it just kills me.
It's so mean, it's not fair. You'd definitely say something, right? Like,
if someone was clutching a desk that their knuckles were like going white.
I'd be like, what have I done something? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what have I? So yeah, that's kind of how the chapter ends, where like she's walked in on him literally trying to get the hell away from her, which is so, I'd be so embarrassed. I'd just be like, what is wrong with me? Like, why does this guy hate me? So I completely understand her feelings for that, because I would also cry on my way home. Like, I'd be literally
She does like cry the whole way home, doesn't she? Does she cry when she was like she cry all night and go to sleep crying or something?
I don't know if that's this, but oh no, yeah. Because in the beginning of the next chapter is that she, yeah, it was worse because I was still tired. I still couldn't sleep with the wind echoing around the house. It was, oh no.
Charlie's house is a shithole.
What is it like made out of? Like, how can you hear the wind?
Oh, so funny.
Or maybe it isn't this one where she kind of cries all night. I can't see any quotes, but maybe I'm just missing them. But
She also like so over the next chapters are like just her at school, really, right? And every time they mention like class and stuff, she always makes a point to be like, "I'm so smart, I've already read this," or
yes.
"I'm so clever, I've already done this. I've read all those books."
I genuinely feel like Stephanie wrote this to kind of like cosplay almost as like, you know, like the attractive person who goes to a new school, and like that fantasy of like, I'm so pretty and perfect and smart and intelligent, and I go to school and everyone loves me, but there is this one guy who doesn't like me. And I just can't understand why he doesn't like me, because I'm so perfect and intelligent. Sorry.
That is honestly what it reads like. And then there's this one bit where she's like, so after telling us how perfect and amazing she is, the only thing she's bad at is PE. But she's perfect and amazing at everything else. Apart from when the maths teacher asked her a question, she doesn't know the answer because she was thinking about Edward.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, not so perfect then.
No. And I love that, like, that ruins her whole day. Like, which is like the next day at school is better, but also way worse because I got a math question wrong. Like, girl. Grow up.
Yeah, she has she has no real problems in life. Like,
yeah,
her dad's pretty much like the most respected man in this town. Her biggest problem in life is seriously this one bathroom. Boy at school hates her old truck. Like, you've got a car. I can't relate. Like, these are not issues.
No, literally. Sounds like you're living in the most beautiful, tiny little cottage house ever. Like, when they described the house, I was just like, it sounds beautiful.
Yeah, like, I'll move in now.
Yeah, like, all that. But yeah, essentially, like, this whole chapter kind of begins with her having this horrible day, but also she's still getting loads of attention off Mike, and they have the little volleyball scene at the beginning where is it that scene? Yeah, it is, where she's so clumsy and they have this really like big accident on the volleyball court. That's where you're kind of seeing that. And then she just randomly goes grocery shopping and she says that's her like little bit of normalcy, and I'm just like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that was also weird to me. I would never, like, at 17, I was never making steak and potatoes. The best you were getting out of me was, like, cheesy pasta.
Yeah, the part I picked out too where she's like, I always did the grocery shopping at home, and I'm just like, who's 17 and, like, going to the shop on their own and doing a full grocery
You'd have, like, spaghetti, like, alphabet spaghetti.
If you sent me to the shop when I was 17, it would literally be that. It'd be like beans on toast. Like,
yeah, well, it was like us at uni, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly that. And then
frozen pizza.
Oh dear. And then you have that little snippet of her interacting with her mum, where like her mum's been emailing her as if she's like died. And that's another thing, like, what does her mum think's going to happen to her? Like, she's with her dad, like...
Well, I can kind of understand that, since she only sees him every 2 weeks, and it doesn't sound like her mum and dad ever speak. It's just a whole strange set up.
Yeah, and you have that
Like,
little
just
you have that little snippet where she says your blouse is at the dry cleaners. You were supposed to pick it up on Friday, and it's like, who's the mother in this scenario?
she's definitely setting it up for that, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, then she like interacts with her dad when they're eating dinner, and the only time she speaks to Charlie is to get information about Edward. I'm like, did neither of you care about each other? Like, do you and Charlie not want to, like, what did you do at work today? What did you do at school today?
Yeah, literally.
Why are you not talking? Do people not speak to their parents? Like, it's just so odd.
Especially when you've just moved to this new place. Like, surely you'd be having some more conversations than just that. But I guess the whole point is that we're only seeing, the important conversations that are about fucking Edward.
Yeah, but then he goes like back to he doesn't even help her wash up.
Oh yeah, no, that is one thing where I was just like, I made tea and I'm just gonna go sit afterwards. Like, I don't think so.
I went food shopping, I made tea, I've got homework, and you're just gonna sit and watch the telly. Okay. Like, yeah, no wonder you don't like him. Like, I don't like him.
Yeah. And the fact that she's like noticing that Edward is not in school like all this whole kind of week is just like, go forget about this guy. Like, he doesn't like you.
Yeah, so then we have like, she goes to school for like a week and he's not there, and then the next week he is there and she's like, she can't fucking believe it because all she wants is to see him again. Then we have these really weird like snowball, like it's snowing.
Yeah. Snowball fight situation.
Yeah.
I refuse to engage with my and just goes inside and forgets about it. But yeah, so we have like the biology class scene, which is the classic like anaphase. Like,
I'm so smart. I did actually quite like this. At least they spoke.
Yeah, and I think there's some bits to pick out where it's kind of like he knows that she prefers to be called Bella, and like, yeah, obviously it's really strange, like the complete juxtaposition between the first interaction and the second interaction obviously is leading into like their relationship. It's like, well, why is there a full like 180 and you now want to know everything about her and like asking all these questions?
It's kind of hard to read it when you kind of know what's going on, right? Like, it's kind of, I'd love to not know what's happening. Yeah. Although then I probably wouldn't be reading it because I wouldn't have picked this up if I didn't have that like nostalgic attachment to it. So
I do remember though, like when I was young, obviously I watched the film first, but I do remember being like, like what is the point of this conversation? Like, where is it leading to? Like, obviously there's parts of the book that are not in the films at all.
Mm-hmm. Why, when he touches her in this, does he give her an electric shock?
Well, I think it's that his skin is like so cold, isn't it?
It says, when he touched me, it stung my hand as if an electric current had passed through us.
I genuinely think that this is, like one of those cringy, like...
Oh, no.
Why do I think?
It's literally like electricity, like them touching together, like...
chemistry, like...
Yeah.
Chemical reaction, kind of...
Oh, no. Okay, right, that makes more sense. I didn't know if like he was electrically charged. It's like Spider-Man.
The fucking flash all of a sudden.
Yeah. Like he's like zapping about and throwing out electric currents at people the way Spider-Man like has webs. But that makes more sense. I'm glad that you took a much more romantic approach to that sentence.
I do. Obviously, I think we've talked about like tropes before, but I think one of my least favorite things is like a lack of communication. Like, it really frustrates me, and I know it's to like move the plot along. But this is one of those things where obviously she asks him about, did you get contacts and why didn't you just ask him why he was being such a fucking weirdo? I'd be like, what was your problem last week? Like, why are you so mean to me? Especially when she's been so upset about it. I definitely wouldn't be able to hold back. Like, I'm not an outspoken person, or like I'm quite shy, but I definitely, if someone had that reaction to meeting me for the first time, I'd be like, did something happen? Like,
Yeah, like I need to know, like the curiosity.
yeah, and like, I know
You've got to tell me.
yeah, like obviously she asks him about the contacts, and then I think, does she in this where she's kind of like,
Yeah, she
where
says,
were you?
did you get contact? Oh, did
This is
she
the
say
problem
what?
with this. I feel like I kind of, like we've talked about this before, maybe not on the podcast, but where you think something's happened and it's either it happened in the book or it happened in the film, but it didn't happen, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think
I don't think, does she? She must ask him where he was.
I don't think she does in this scene. Potentially another one.
I love that we're both just trying to like figure out how this conversation goes.
Yeah, we can cut.
NFAs.
Anyways, it's complicated. I think
Do
we
you,
can keep up.
do you know what this biology lesson is? Because I don't know what any of those things are.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Because I was reading this thinking, because in the film they say it as well, and I thought, I don't think that's a biology lesson I've ever had.
Definitely not.
Do we call it something else? Maybe the Collins should mix it up and go to schools in different countries so they like don't know the curriculum as well.
Oh my god, I could talk for hours about the fact that they don't need to go to school. You literally look 25 years old.
And she
Just
even
stay
says
home.
that in the first meeting. She says like they look like the teachers.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are they here? Oh my god, have we not even said this? In the film they're all Cullens, right? But in the book they say that Jasper and Rosalie are cousins, or no, brother and sister, called Jasper and Rosalie Hale. And they're...
I thought it was.
Is it? I thought they were all Cullens.
No.
So it says that they're...
Maybe that's just because I've read this book, but I
don't know, we'll see when we see the film, I guess.
Then we can...
But yeah, so they say that they're Hales and then the other three are Cullens because they've all been adopted. I was like, oh, I don't remember that. Random. Anyway, so that's like their next conversation. Then we go into then we go into a really, really annoying series of 3 different boys asking Bella to go to a dance with them. And this was just... Has anyone met 16-year-old, 17-year-old teenage boys?
There's no way, is there? Like
I just... Yeah, this is just like to what you were saying. Stephanie Meyers' fantasy of I'm
the most wanted person in this town.
Yeah.
I'm hot now. Like, everyone loves me.
So first Mike asks her, and Mike seems...
Oh, sorry.
Mike seems... Oh. My back.
You're back, yeah, sorry.
So Mike seems like... It's kind of strange because she's building Mike up to be the kind of... He seems really nice, but is he only really nice because he wants to go out with her? And she knows that the whole time, then distance yourself from it. If he doesn't like say to him, do you want to be my friend? Like, she doesn't seem like someone who's going to have trouble with that, especially because she's okay with not having friends. So why doesn't she just say to him? It's not like she's dying to keep him as a friend. So why doesn't she just say to him, I'm not interested in having any more than friendship. So if that's where you think this is going, it's not. I just thought that was a little odd. And then why is no one... So she makes this like weird kind of big deal out of how no one is really friends until she gets there and then suddenly they're all friends. and they all sit together at lunch, and like she's kind of like the glue that made this little group of people friends. They've there's 300 people in this school. These people were obviously friends. Bella, this has nothing to do with you.
I think we've skipped over the whole van crashing situation.
Does that not happen after she
No,
gets asked to prom?
I think it's before. It's the beginning of chapter 3.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that was weird.
So I think like it's just that typical romance trope where like she's like a damsel in distress and he saved her, which is fine. Like I can get on board with it, but also I just kind of
Why is her dad not allowed into the like operating room in this either?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Fighting though too, I'm just like red flag. Like obviously that's because I've got like a modern perception of it. I'm just like, if someone was actively telling me no, I was stood right beside you, I'd be like, no, you fucking weren't. I'd be screaming. I'd be like, you're trying to fucking make me seem insane. Like everyone would know about it because I'd be in the middle of that hospital screaming at them.
But then everyone else notices that they didn't even know Edward was there until...
Yeah, but then they easily accept it, don't they? Like Tyler's just kind of, oh, I didn't see him or whatever. Like, and I do think there is this perception throughout the whole book where it's kind of Bella is susceptible to these, you know, like werewolves, vampires. Like, there's this whole trope where I don't know if you've read through all the books, but there's kind of this thing of she was always meant to be in this like world with all of these like mythical creatures. Like that's kind of like what her destiny was.
So everyone else is just an ignorant little human, very accepting of everything, but she knows something else happening because she's so clever and so smart and so beautiful.
She's different. She's fucking like,
she's just so different to all the other girls.
Honestly, at a certain point, I'm just like, I wish you'd gone back to fucking Arizona into your little desert and just left these people.
Then when she walks out of the hospital as well, Mike, Jessica and Eric are all there. And she's so mean to them again. Yeah, she's just constantly mean to everyone.
Yeah, she just seems so embarrassed for everything where she's just nasty. And it's just like, well, what's your problem?
Yeah. I actually think that, what's the actress called? Why can't I think of her name?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, I actually think Kristen Stewart, like, reading this, I'm like, yeah, she did a pretty good job with, like, not making her really mean. She kind of made her seem, like, this is hard. If she's meant to be, like, the female main character who's really, everyone really likes for some reason, but is really shy and really introverted, but at the same time people want to be around her. I think Kristen Stewart did a really good job with this material.
I do think too, though, when I read this book, I think that I related to Bella a lot, where I was kind of just, I'm a little bit different. Like, I'm a little bit quirky and like, like not that I thought I was special or anything, but we all had that phase where we were like Tumblr and like, nobody understands me. Like, and so it definitely appealed to me as like when I was younger. And I think that's what Stephanie Meyers wanted. Like, she was writing it from her perspective. Like, it's such a selfish, like, depiction of a main character because it's like what she almost wants to be or, like, sees herself as.
It's kind of hard to relate to it, I guess, as a 30-year-old as well, because...
Oh, definitely.
But then that makes me think even more, why are these people in high school if they're 120?
Yeah, like, it's a little bit weird, like... So yeah, the next chapter... Oh, sorry. The next chapter...
Wait, that one ends with such a good quote, though. So chapter 3 ends with, that was the first night I dreamed of Edward Cullen.
Yes. The classic.
Okay, so picking up in chapter 4. So this one is Wait, so is this where they start asking her to the dance?
Yeah, so I think there is a gap, obviously, where they have that kind of conversation at the end of the last one, right? About him gaslighting her and saying, "No, I was right beside you, Bella." And then there is like a 6-week period where they just don't talk to each other.
Yeah, that was a strange sentence written in. The month that followed was uneasy. I'm like, wait, the month?
But yeah, I think it's like that build of tension, right? Where you have that gap and she's having fucking dreams about him. So it like begins with that dream where there's literal light radiating from his skin, which is just such a strange thing to happen. But as well, I'm kind of just like, why is she so fixated on him? Like, why can't she just let him?
It's like, it's this whole thing, isn't it, of that we complain about in these books all the time, of they're like made for each other.
Yeah, you have that kind of like beginning where it's a little bit uneasy, and then he starts speaking to her again as all of her little like crony boys are like obsessed with her and ask her out, and he intercepts, and it's kind of like that comedic, like comedy relief, isn't it, from all the stress. And like everyone knows that feeling of like when you were young and like you're kind of like back and forth with a guy, and then they like talk to you and you feel like, oh, he's finally talking to me again or whatever. It's just when you get the text and you're like,
I honestly don't know if I ever felt like this. I just don't think I ever liked any of the boys ever until I met Kurt. I just did, and I didn't care if they like didn't want to be with me. I think maybe when I was a teenager, there was definitely like there was a guy across the road from me who used to Stacey will laugh out loud if she ever listens to this. My childhood best friend, so will Chloe, to be fair. There was this like kid that like skateboarded, and I thought he was like so cool. This was like when I was like 12 or 13, and I thought he was so cool. I think he was called Zach.
Zach.
Total loser, honestly. Like, what the fuck? He used to get his like mum's car keys and drive away in his mum's car at like 13. And I was like, yeah, so cool.
What guy?
And I feel like that is the only time I can relate to thinking, oh, I wish a boy would talk to me. After that, I did fucking teenage boys were a nightmare. Like, I had loads of guy friends and I loved them all dearly, but I think because I knew what they were like, because I had them as friends, I couldn't relate to the whole dying for them to speak to me. So, I don't know, does that make me not like other girls?
You're just
maybe
not like
I was
Bella.
just not like them other girls waiting on those calls.
I would never.
And wait on a man, never been in my DNA.
No, literally.
Last time I can relate, I was 12 years old.
Zach. Come back.
Zach. LOML.
So yeah, this chapter basically ends with like. I also, just to backtrack a little bit, why does she lie about going to Seattle and that's the reason why she can't go to the dance?
Where did that even come from?
Don't you feel like that's such a big lie? Like, maybe just be like, oh, I don't want to go, or like, I can't go. Why are you like,
Yeah.
no, I'm actually going to another city? What? But yeah, that chapter ends with Edward like offering to go with her, like,
yeah,
to drive her around.
This whole queuing to get out of the car park at school as well. What does that mean? Is this because the differences between UK schools and American schools is so unbelievably vast. There was about, I think when I went to school, So you could only drive when you were like a sixth former because you could only get your license at 17 in the UK. And probably maximum in a year was like 20 people who drove out of, and there would be about 120 people per year in our school. So like there
I
was
feel like
no,
it's way less for me. Like there was like 4 people that had cars at our school in like sixth form.
yeah, well that's all it would be. Like I would say maximum would be like 20.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was just such a straight. Most people got the bus or walked to school.
Yeah, yeah. No, literally.
And in this, she says it more than once, which is why I started thinking about it. Them queuing to get out of the parking lot.
I feel like that's just such an American thing. Like everyone's got a car. Like, yeah,
That was strange.
really strange.
Um,
But I do kind of love at the end of this. Oh, your camera's gone off here.
oh, sorry, I'm on 10%.
Oh no. Okay. So the end of this is when he's like, you really should stay away from me.
Oh, it's so bad.
Can you imagine in real life someone said that to you? I would literally be doing a Claire's Law, or I'd be like, there's something wrong with this person. Like,
Okay, bye. Your wish is my command.
don't ever speak to me again. Chapter 5, Blood Type.
Bella faints when they, is that this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, so she speaks to Edward again, and they decide that they're going to be friends. Spoiler: the conversation is fucking awful, and I have no idea what either of them are talking about.
Yeah, so essentially you have that hero, heroine.
Yeah.
She's like in need, and he sweeps her off her feet and rescues her, and but it's set like it's like not at that level. It's like set in a fucking nurse's office, which is just embarrassing.
Yeah, because so basically, they speak again in the cafeteria. He's like, "What do you think I am?" And she's like, "I think you're like Spider-Man or suffocating Superman or some shit." And he's like, "What if I'm not the good guy?" And then she's like, "Okay, you come into biology." and Edward's like, "No, I'm going to skip today's lesson." Yeah. So then when she gets there, it's all about people pricking their fingers to learn their blood type. Bella immediately faints because, as it turns out, she can smell blood more than like the average human.
What I was just saying about her being susceptible,
like mythical, yeah, like into the mysticism of it all.
It's like she's supposed to be a vampire, essentially. There's
a little scene where like Mike volunteers to bring her to the nurse's office because obviously he would, because he thinks they're friends and getting on well, but she just uses that as another opportunity to shit all over him. So does Edward. They're both horrible to him. And then there's like loads of hilarious lines, like where he's like, "I've seen corpses with better colour," and she just doesn't fucking say anything to that.
Yeah, you'd be like, "You've seen corpses?"
When, sir? When have you seen corpses?
And then they like bond over their love of classical music, which is just...
Oh god, that is so funny. Yeah, so he offers to bring her home, and then there's another scene where he gets the this is why I was asking earlier, is he able to influence people's decision making? Because he speaks to the receptionist at the school again, and he gets them both excused from their last period so that he can take her home. And I was thinking, oh, why could he do that, but he couldn't get his biology class changed? So then he brings her home, and he starts playing his CD in the car, and she's like, "Claire de Lune?" And he's like, "You know de Bossé." I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. Like they're literally 70 fucking years old. Like, what is wrong with
But then there is a horrible conversation where he's like, "What age are you, Bella?" We're in the same year in school. I'm 17. What age are you? Like, and then she makes a really weird comment where she's like, "My mum says I was born 35 and I get more middle-aged every year."
Yeah.
Ugh. Gross. And it's like just trying to set some groundwork that the rationale is okay, that this
Yeah.
200-year-old man
Is in love
fancies
with
a
a 17-year-old.
17-year-old child.
Yeah. And then there's that really weird scene where he's like, where is that? I've just looked at it. He's like, "Are you frightened of me now?" And then he's like trying to scare her, like being dead serious, like changing his face. There is no chance I'd be in the car with this man.
I'd be like, yeah, I am. Okay, bye.
I'd be like, my dad's a police officer.
Charlie will get you. And then chapter 6. So yeah, she leaves the car. Nothing really else happens. He says he's going away for the weekend with his brother camping, and she's really upset because then she won't get to see him again.
Yeah.
For the whole weekend, and she's asked him to come on the beach trip that everyone's going on. And then they go. So the next chapter is basically her moping around at school because Edward's not there. Some really awful some more scenes of her being awful to Jessica because Jessica just wants to know why the kid who never talks to anyone is now speaking to her. As you would want to know, like, and you've been sat with this whole group of people now for like 8 weeks. The least you could do is actually converse with the girl who's speaking to you, instead of just being so awful about her in your head.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jessica's just like, oh, I've never seen him sit with anyone but his family, so that was weird. And she's like, she seems annoyed. She flipped her dark curls back impatiently. Well, speak to her. Like, you're awful.
Yeah, like,
you're so rude.
Just be like, that guy like saved me from being crushed by a car. Like, we're friends now.
And then she overhears a girl called Lauren complaining about Bella to Mike. And I'm like, I'm fucking surprised more of you aren't complaining about how awful she is, because she's really rude to all of you. And Bella obviously feels like this is completely unwarranted. And it's just another series of her shitting on women again. Because apparently the message of this book is other women bad. So, yeah. And then they go to La Push, and finally we meet Jacob.
Yeah, this is one of my favourite scenes.
Yeah, they actually have a conversation.
Yeah. And I do feel like when you see Bella and Jacob interact, it feels like they're on like fair ground, like they're kind of on the same level.
You mean they're both teenagers?
We both know Jacob's not into teenagers.
Spoiler alert. So yeah, this was so good.
Yeah, like visually, like,
oh, she describes the beach more than anything she's described so far, and I was like, oh, I want to be there.
When they're like, oh, tidal pools, I'm like, yeah.
Yep, sold. She also uses this this is another opportunity to let everyone know that girls are awful and all wore the wrong shoes and won't go on the hike as well. Because, girls are bad.
I hate women.
Yeah, just some more I hate women narrative. But then we meet Jacob, and Jacob tells... So it's kind of weird that they've never met. Like, the film definitely did this better, where they introduced him earlier on.
Yeah.
But this is fine. And he tells her all the story about his... Is they called a tribe? Does he call them a tribe? Does Stephanie call them a tribe? I don't know. This is when I'm going to be really ignorant and should definitely do some research, because the tribe that she names, are they called the Quaaludes?
I really struggle with this. The Quilliettes?
Yeah, we need to look that up for sure when we continue on. And this is where one of the main kind of problems is introduced as well, isn't it? Because Stephanie Meyers immediately calls a Native American tribe animalistic.
Yeah, it's a real issue.
Yeah.
I think
just like a lot of negative stereotypes is starting to come through there. Do you like scary stories?
Yeah. I do really like that conversation though when, you know, like he's telling the story.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like you are fully like transported and you can kind of
Yeah. Seems like a good kid.
yeah. Um but yeah, and then I think what I meant like with them being on the same playing field, it's kind of like Jacob is confirming her like what's going on mentally with what she's worrying about with Edward. He's like almost confirming it, and so it feels like they are kind of like in that same headspace, kind of in on it together.
And she's like really nice to him too. So he's like, when I get my license, she's like, well, you should come see me in Forks. And this is the first person that it feels like Bella is genuinely
wants to be friends with them. And
yeah. Which is nice. So that was a bit of a breath of fresh air, that whole conversation.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're up to, isn't it? So it ends with her trying to drown all the girls out from their conversation.
Yeah.
It literally ends with her being like, I stared out the window at the escalating storm and Laura twisted around in the middle seat to occupy Tyler's attention. Oh, the girls are awful.
Yeah. Her, like, I just feel like if you've moved to a new town, you make far more effort to be, like, friends with people, and she just kind of is, like, not on the same page. And maybe it is that, you know, she's supposed to be, like, an older figure, like mentally or whatever, and like she doesn't
for middle-aged.
Yeah, like she doesn't fit in with like normal kids, and maybe that's why like the relationships with Jacob and with Edward go so smoothly, because she's trying to make it seem like, oh, she can be friends with mythical creatures rather than normal children.
Well, just don't. If she's so comfortable being alone, just don't be friends with people. Be on your own.
Yeah, like just go sit on a table on your own. Just don't. Yeah.
So
I feel like that's it's a really good start. I feel like a really good place to stop and move on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the next chapters have in store. I'm definitely going to do some research on that tribe though, for sure, and how they feel about Twilight.
Yeah.
So if anyone has any good recommendations, I'd love to do some reading on that. If there's any like really good books or anything.
Yeah, I think I've seen quite a lot of things online about obviously like tourism there, because it's one thing like we've seen a lot of people go to Forks, and obviously it is based off of a real reservation. And
oh right, okay. So that's the actual Native American tribe that live at that reservation.
I'm not 100% sure whether that's the actual name of the people.
As if I'd like to.
And I don't think it's actually in Forks. I think she kind of based it off somewhere like nearby. We'll have to look into it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that they were not happy that they're kind of being used for something that's like making money, and they've had no kind of like, they've not seen any of that money basically, and they're kind of used for it. But yeah, definitely something maybe we can talk about in the next one.
For sure. I'm definitely going to go look it up. Okay, right. Well, yeah, read along with us if you want to. So we'll, as I say, we're doing 6 chapters at a time. So there's going to be 4 episodes of book 1, and then we're definitely going to do a sit down and watch it with us for our YouTube channel. So, yeah, I can't wait. We should watch the commentary one as well with the actors doing the commentary over it, because I see some of those clips and I long.
So good.
So good. Okay, should we wrap up?
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye, everyone. Bye.